This is Damon Stevens with FinWealth Builders. Today is Thursday, September 1st, 2022. This is stock market update for trades of the day. Hopefully everybody had a great day out there. Market did pull back for us. But end of the day, with the buyers coming in and pushing the market back up towards the highs. So that's a good sign for tomorrow. We've seen the volume that came in. So we'll see if that sustains us. Also, we have a lot of tail candles, but we also have some critical news coming out tomorrow. You definitely want to pay attention to that could affect the market either direction. So let's kind of get into it, take a look at what's going on in the market. And that way we have a Friday planned out before we get into the short week next week and the U.S. holiday coming up this next week. So let's take a look at what's going on and continue to subscribe to our channel, FinWealth Live, on our YouTube channel. Also, if you want to join our Discord where we post our numbers before the market opens, definitely go out to our website and join us for free on that Discord. We also have a membership with other services, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but definitely love to have you join us in our community. Look at the market here. You can see Dow Jones closed up 0.46%, NASDAQ down 0.26%, and S&P 500 up 0.30%. Looking at the heat maps here, you can see most of our FANG stocks did pretty good. Healthcare was the strongest. Energy had a pullback here. You had also Microsoft that kind of pulled back as well, and NVDA. But overall market had a lot of opportunity. You can see here Dow Jones just kind of grinded up and down all the way up all day long. NASDAQ pulled down in kind of a little V shape and then pulled up the rest of the day after the afternoon. S&P 500 started a little bit lower. It had a nice little bump at the end of the day. So see this long candle at the end of the day, that's a bullish momentum there that we want to see in the market as we're closing out the day if we want to see an update the next day. But looking at tomorrow, we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and factory orders all coming out before the market opens. If there's any surprise on the numbers, definitely to the upside, obviously the market could rally up. To downside, the market could pull back. So Friday could be a little bit of a volatile day unless the price comes out, about the same as what's expected, which is what we had today on initial jobless claims. Didn't really affect the market that much. U.S. manufacturing did either, because it came pretty close to expectations. So Friday's just, pay attention to unemployment rates and non-farm payrolls to see if it comes out to expectations. If it does, may have a flat open and then have a decision on which way the market wants to go. But with those tail candles in, it gives a possibility for upswing tomorrow and it closed out before, to the upside. But also, the market could fake you out, or if the news is bad, we could pull back further, and we do have room. So let's take a look at that. Looking at our max pain here, these are contracts people shorting the market versus long. You can see we have a lot more people shorting the market. So a lot of people expect the market to come down. We're actually sitting under the max pain. Right now, these people at 400 are getting rewarded. Same with these people at 395. They're just right close to there. So do we pay out these individuals or do we pay out the calls, which a lot of these calls, you can see there's a lot less of them. 410 is kind of first spike that we have, besides kind of where we sit right now, 400. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. See where the market decides to end. If the market ends flat, then it's going to basically hurt everybody on both sides, which, would create a lot of pain. I allow the market to collect on these people that were short even going long on the market. Looking at earnings, we had Okta today. You can see we had that action on Wednesday, and then Thursday we had Broadcom, Lululemon, Tilly. So I'm going to I have a couple of these to share with you. Okta from Wednesday, we carried over to this morning, and then after hours we had a couple as well. Let's kind of get into those. Take a look. There's nothing on Friday for earnings. So Lulu, here's Lulu. Nice run. So low here on today was 83. After the earnings report, you see that we just skyrocketed up here to where we were back here on the 25th of August. So we're back up, to 321 right now in after hours. So that's about almost a $40 move. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. See if we get continuation play or maybe a little bit of pullback and run. The Lulu could be a good opportunity tomorrow, especially with the $40 move. AVGO, so Broadcom. You can see Broadcom came down here. Was that 480.89 was the low. It kind of in kind of mid range. It pulled back to that 480 level, checked in there, ran up, ran over this 502.90 level up to 506, and then kind of pulled back to right on the 500 mark, just sitting right on 500. So we're about $19, $20 above the low of today. So looking for Broadcom, AVGO, possibly be an opportunity in the morning as well. Looking at Google, which has been range bound for a very long time, for months here, continues to be range bound, and kind of like the last 3 days has just been hugging, including today, hugging this midline right here. Well, today we bounced off and closed a little bit higher, so that looks good possibly to run here, but we got to get above this candle. So we need to get above 111 on Google if we're going to run up to the north side. If we break below this 108 level, then we could be coming back down to these lows that we had before. We could possibly put a lower low in. Microsoft's usual little tail candle we're talking about. Typically in the market, that's a reversal candle, but there could be a fake out here, but we have a gap to fill. So either Microsoft might go up and fill this gap, hit the midline and bounce back down in this lower range. But what we're hoping for is if the market, the news is good in the morning, see if we can run up here and possibly retest around that 264 to 268 level. Amazon, little tail candle as well, but still within this upper candle here. Looking to see if we can bounce off this resistance line, this support line that we had. You see that's kind of where we had the gap, and now that Amazon's filled that full gap today that we had open, we're going to see if we can get a bounce to the upside since it kind of completed the business that was down there. Apple bounced off the 200, so we came all the way through all these moving averages, but we bounced off the 200 and we're back up above, and we filled this gap here too. So we're filling gaps, we're bouncing off support. So hoping that gives us enough to start to climb in. Also, we're almost on some of these almost 50% retracement too on the move. So looking at Chipotle, we talked about this last week and the week before, that we would probably see pull back at least 50% of that retracement, and that's exactly what's happening. And you see here that on Chipotle, it came down here and almost spiked down towards the 50, kind of where this little group here where we broke up. And we went back up to this resistance line. So we'll see if we can break out above that and move back into this range up here, or do we stay maybe some range bound down and below? But nice bounce for Chipotle. NVDA came down here, testing these low, and actually broke this low. So it's a lot of bad news, a lot of bad press. You can see though that NVIDIA has been in this range, it's been range bound. You see this is the top of the range, right? We came in, top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range, and then now bottom of the range. So hopefully we can find support here and just continue to stay range bound here. Don't like that it put a lower low in, but hopefully, that could be a new low and we can see if we can bounce off here. As long as we stay range bound, kind of like Google, then you have a play. You can know that you're kind of going from bottom to top of that range until somewhere down the road the market decides whether it wants to go back into a bull market or remain in bear market. So looking at the stocks in the S&P 500 that are above the 50-day moving average, we've been talking about this for days as well. So we hit 92, which is way above the average before we pull back in the market. And we talked about that when we were up here. And you see that exactly what's happened. We pulled all the way back and we were down here, and we tagged this support line here at 32.93 that's on the chart here. And we bounced off of it back up. So is that enough for us to start to climb back up again? It's possible. We didn't go tag the low. The next low I had down here was 1924. We haven't come down there. That'd be the next area for support. So looking to see if we get a bounce here and hold this bounce and get these stocks going back above the 50-day. But you see here we got down to where we went from 92% of companies in a bullish format to 30% of companies in a bullish momentum. So you see that definitely a huge pullback. So we'll see. Can we get the stocks moving again? Looking at the 10-year yield, it broke out of this wedge that we had here and going up towards these highs. It hit this support line we have here, which is back here, back in May, on May 9th. and tagged it and pulled back. So looking to see if that can remain resistance. Either range bound us in this range right here. And if we do break above, then look for the market to continue to come down. So looking for this hopefully to pull back a little bit, give some room to breathe on the market. 2-year yield. So this was the high, and that's where our line was. And we broke that line, spiked it yesterday, came back down. Today we're just flat right on that line. We're looking to see if we can get a rejection here and pull back and become range bound. We can pull back on the bonds. Hopefully that'll help the market move. The same with the dollar. The dollar is elevated. We're going to new highs. The second day we spiked and then came back, and we kind of set flat today. Really need this to pull back. Otherwise, if we continue to elevate the dollar, expect the market to continue to come down. Gold always reacts to that dollar as well. So you see gold was flat too. So, basically, if you're looking at the dollar, you can see the reflection in gold and vice versa. But we are down here at this critical support level, holding it so far. So let's see if we can get a bounce off of here, at least, and trace back up, at least back up to this 50% level, which is around 1750. If we break this level, we could be coming down and testing lows again. U.S. oil, we're range bound. So we talked about this last several days as well. So we're just kind of range bound since mid-July, and just kind of bouncing up and down in this range. And we're at the bottom of the range right now. We broke below the 200-day, but still in the range area. So as long as we can bounce right here, we'll just remain that range. And if you trade, one of the things we cover in our training is range bound trading, which is basically you just buy off the bottoms, sell off the tops, short of the tops, buy at the bottom, and sell at the bottom, and just kind of ride this back and forth. Try not to buy in the middle. That'd be the range, because that's not a good place to be, because then you don't know if it's gonna come down halfway and bounce back up to the top, or from the bottom go up halfway and then come back down to the bottom again. So you always just want to trade on a range, both sides, from the top part down to the bottom part and vice versa. The VIX, you can see, well, the VIX is a good example too of range. You can see the range here, VIX, pulling down, pull down, up, down, up. So it just continues to go kind of in this range, and kind of in the middle. Here's that little wedge that we broke out of. We came back up and retested it now 3 days, and still rejecting off of it, off this center line. So that's good. We want that VIX to stay down here. I really want it below 25. So, hopefully bouncing off of this down to the downside. We're right at the top of this candle. We can break down into this candle again. That's good momentum for the stocks to start to move and brings that to volatility down. On a weekly basis, you can see we tagged the middle line again in that range. So we're kind of at the middle, and then we rejected and came down. So we're at the top of this candle. Again, got to watch in the morning. If we can get that candle to come down, we can break down below this 25 range. Definitely can have a nice update tomorrow. If we spike back up above that mid-range, then the market's going to be, again, starting to probably pull down and go towards those lower lows. The SPY on 1 day, you can see this, full range up here, retracement. We broke this little support level here, came down, and we tagged this midline right here, which is kind of the neckline of where we broke out to the upside. And so we bounced off that. That's good. Also the midline here on our deviation bands. So that's good. So hopefully we can rally back up at least, back over towards the 400, get over the 400 tomorrow. And you can also see that we're kind of oversold. Not that we can't stay oversold for a long time. And I didn't get a blue candle here, which is like, might tell me that I do have a reversal. Don't have that yet. So we'll see if we get that in the morning. If not, we could still have a down day, but I do like the bounces. I do like these tail candles, which typically show a reversal is a possibility. Like in the triple Qs, you can see we pulled down here on the center line again. And you see that, typical across the board in the markets, but we're on that center line of our deviation, and we bounced off. And we closed just above this resistance line. So hoping that, either we become range bound, kind of like in here, kind of this grouping here. So hopefully get up there and hold that. If we, stay below here, you can see that, we could possibly, become range bound in a lower range, which is not what we want to do. Semiconductors, little tail candle, nice gap. Hopefully we'll go tomorrow and fill this gap up here, and maybe build a breakout here. Maybe this tail candle shows a bottom. but won't know until the news comes out and the market opens. IWM, tail candle again, low gap. You see this little tight range here that we're in before we broke out. We could get stuck in this area. So just watching for that. We didn't tag the bottom of it, but this was an area where we consolidated, and could be an area where you may consolidate again. And we did that back in July. So we'll see. You know, can we fill that gap and get back above into the just upper range? You know, where we make consolidation as well. We will see. Financials. We tagged the support line. We kind of spiked below it, which was this breakout area we talked about. So looking to hopefully hold here. It's at the bottom, so I didn't like that part. We'll see if we can rally up, but we could get stuck. You see, we were stuck here for a while before we broke out. So we'll see if we can become range bound, or if we break down the lowers into this section here where this neckline was. XLV came down here, continues to break through our resistance lines. This is this last candle here. You see this was the bottom of the candle, but you have the wick here at the 125.23. That's where we're sitting right now. We just barely closed above the candle here. So this candle, if it can remain engulfing these candles and we can range bound, that would be ideal. So looking to see if we can hold that area. If we break below this candle low, it's 125.23, then look, you know, for more downside, probably to the bottom of this major candle here. A Bitcoin just flat, just flat. It's gonna be just nothing going on right now, just no decision. So this weekend, I don't know if we'll get a break one way or the other. Maybe tomorrow with the market, maybe that'll help get us kick started for the weekend. You can see Ethereum continues just to kind of grind slowly up onto this resistance line. Really need to break above this 1500 mark and hold it to have a good weekend to break it back into this zone up here. If not, we could just stay in this range bound area. Those are stocks or cryptos, things we're looking at as we go into Friday. Again, you know, we'll have a video on Friday after the market because it'll be closed, but we always get you prepped on Sunday, or if there's a holiday, we get you prepped on Monday night. That way you're ready to go. Again, join our Discord. That'll help you to be able to see the trades that we're looking at for the day. If you're looking for, you know, ideas, or maybe you're struggling, and hopefully that'll help you out. But I'd love to have you join us. Definitely reach out to us, and let's make some money together. Everybody have a great weekend, great Friday, and we will talk next week.